Alright guys, today we're going to tackle a project that's been on the list for a while, and quite honestly I've just been trying to kind of avoid it. There's only a few things left to do before we start driving the wagon around, and then we prep the wagon and paint it. And one of the big things that I've kind of been avoiding is repairing one of the worst dashes I've ever seen. And it's something I've never attempted to do before, and I don't really know what to do. So we're just going to dive in and work on it, right? Sure.
I'd say it's a nut job.
Okay, so let me show you what we're working with first. Yeah, the windshield's a little dirty, so you'll just have to avoid the glare. I'll show you from the inside in a minute, but this dash is busted all around. Almost this whole piece is broken off of it. Busted through here. The center of it there is so bad that it's turned into a storage container. The dash is terrible in this car. So you can see what I'm working with. It is a terrible, terrible dash. This almost broken off here, and it goes all the way across. It's not just like one small spot. This entire dash is busted up and in pretty rough shape. It's terrible. So I'm going to get the stuff off the fenders here, clean my tools up, let the hood down, and we're going to use the hood as a workbench. I know, but listen. We're planning on sanding the car down and painting the car, so it's not going to hurt anything right now. And it's the only flat surface that I currently don't have something stored on. So let me get this cleaned off, and then I'll be right back with you, and we'll pull this dash out and tackle it. Now, I know some people right now are thinking, why not just replace it? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, it's not an easy dash to come by. Now, you can Google it, and 100 results will pop up. But if you actually go to their site, it's not available. I know there's two options out there for it right now. There's a company in California, I think it's actually called California Dashes, that will restore your dash. Astronomically expensive. Not the direction for this car. If we was building a show car, it still might not be, but it would be an option. There is a company out there that has a repop available, but it's $500. For a driver quality car, I can't see dropping $500 in just a dash when I think I can repair it for just a few dollars. All right, this is one of those jobs we're definitely going to have to make it worse before we make it better, for sure. I know that sounds crazy, but that's how it is with a lot of things. It's one of those deals where you kind of have to just tear all the old stuff off, and it looks kind of bad for a minute, but then you get the end result and realize it was worth it. I cannot get the screwdriver on the screw head here for some reason. Got one screw out. Don't think there is one there. They don't make these screws very easy to get to. Maybe I can see what I'm doing in here. Okay, here's the screw. There it goes. There it goes. Now it'll just slide right out. And let's go take a look at it. Okay, there it is. It's a terrible dash. Maybe that's the reason it didn't hang up on this side, because it's all busted up. We have cracks and busted places and completely missing areas all over this dash. So that's why that's because that's all buckled down. We got a lot of work to do on this dash to make this thing somewhat presentable. Now the question is, how are we going to do it? One thing, we're going to lose this speaker grill because we're not going to put a speaker back under there anyway. So let's get started, because there's no part of this thing that we don't have to touch. The first thing we have to do is cut all these out so we have a flat surface. Now this is just a paint stirring stick, but you can see when it does this how you don't have a very flat surface. Like, I know the cameras can't pick it up because I can't get it turned around enough, but you can see daylight through here that this is kind of pooched a little bit, especially in an area like this. You see how, if I can get the camera on it right, see how it just, this is not flat anymore. This is pooched up right here, and it's not flat. So we got to take our knife and cut all this area out right here so that we can get back down to flat again. And yes, I know a wooden stick is probably not the best thing in the world, but it will show us that we're close, and then we can use the metal, the stick, to kind of guide us. So we're just going to have to get in here and cut some of this out so that we can get down to where we need to fill. And this stuff is extremely brittle too, so it's kind of hard to video this and do it, but this is the idea. If I can stay in frame here, just going in here and making some cuts, and then because it's easier and this stuff is stuck to that foam pretty well, I just come in here with a screwdriver and pick all that out. We want all the loose pieces out. Don't fret too much about the edges, because once we get the foam in here, there will be some sanding. But this is what we're after. We're after a crevice to fill with the foam. And we're going to do that across the whole thing. Go ahead and gouge all this out. We'll need some space. Now, I also learned that you can take a heat gun and heat this up a little bit, and it will be a little easier to cut. Keep in mind the whole, it's got to get worse before it gets better kind of thing, because as you're digging this stuff out, the dash is going to look worse and worse. You know what I'm saying? We're digging stuff out. We said we was deleting this grill right here, so I cut the whole grill out. Got all this up through here. Our cracks are getting bigger, and all this is so the foam will have a place to go. This over here is probably obviously going to look the worst. Then I got to come back and I got a space here I got to do, here I got to do, and then of course I got to tackle this corner over here as well. It's going to look terrible before we can even start the process of making it look better. So just be patient. One of those times that even if you have never done this before, and I'll confess I've never tried to do this before, but I don't freak out because I just have to trust the process. I have to trust the process that it's going to work out in the end. And I always kind of have a contingency plan in case it doesn't work out. But in this case, we're doing everything we can to try to make sure that this works out appropriately. Now, again, it requires trusting the process. Okay, so now we have the majority of these cracks all gouged out and everything. And there's a few small ones that I didn't fool with. I think once we skim everything, those will take care of themselves. I'm not really going for a show car, you know what I mean? I'm going for, this thing is not trash. So I'm going to put something in here just to keep the foam from dropping through, because we did say we were filling this. Probably just use tape, most likely. I just want something so it doesn't all drop through the holes and cause me problems fitting it. and then we're going to fill all these crevices with our foam. And it has a lot to do with what foam you use, as I've found in my research. Okay, so right here, I don't really care if this tape actually stays in place or not. It's just about making it so the foam doesn't just absolutely fall through and just waste it, really. That's kind of the point, is just not to waste the foam. Just something to, again, to keep this stuff from falling through. Again, the foam is just the bottom layer. If you've ever dealt with spray foam, you know there's a million different kinds, brands, types, all kind of things. From what I understand from people that have done this multiple times, you want the window and door, and you want this little no drip tip. Apparently that makes a difference, because you don't want it just, there's some that's made to fill big gaps, and that stuff really swells up. That's just much more cleanup you've got to do. You want this so you can keep it at a minimum. So that's the theory anyway. Oh, this tip gives you very nice control. Oh, I like this. This tip is really nice. Got a little too much in that one, but that's okay. I was so busy being oohed and awed by the tip, and I'm getting way too much in here, so it's just going to make more work for me on the cleanup side. I didn't film any of that shit. Well, unfortunately, El Dumbo here didn't hit the record button. I have to apologize, guys. I'm sitting here talking, narrating, and doing all this stuff, and I never hit the record button. So here we are with the foam in the cracks and creases and all the craters that we cut out. So now we're just going to sit and let the foam do what the foam does and harden up, and then we can start cutting it down, sanding on it, and seeing what we can come up with here. Yeah, there's your professional YouTuber. Yeah, gee. Well, I don't know how long it'll take it to cure, but when it does, because somebody was a little heavy-handed with the trigger, we're gonna have a lot of knife work. We've kind of filled this thing up, so apparently it's break time. I mean, that's all we can say is take a quick break, allow this stuff to dry up, and then we'll start with the next step in the process. Always good to have a refrigerator in the office just for that, in the garage. Cold Sprite and a Nutty Buddy. So what's your thoughts so far? Have you seen this process done before? Is this something that you've done before? Drop in the comments and let me know. Also, while we're taking this short break to eat a cookie here, or Nutty Butter, don't forget, it's a great time to click on that subscribe button. I seem to feel like people aren't getting notified when I put videos out, so hit that little bell and it'll give you a notification on your phone or your device that a new video is up. Okay, so it appears all this stuff is, not hard, but cured. So now we can go in here and start trimming it. Maybe we can get somewhere this time. Let's see. Let's go get in here somewhere and start trimming. Try to get down to where I can lay it flat-ish on the dash. Now, in some of the things I've seen, people sand this off, but I would rather do it this way and save as much sanding as I can. There's still, of course, going to be sanding, but this will cut down on some of it at least. There's what we're after. We're after just filling the crack up. Again, taking our time. I'm really not sure how sensitive this stuff would be tugging on it. I imagine you can pull it right out of there if you're not careful. Okay, so this is kind of what I was after. It's fairly flush. It's not perfect. I screwed up a little bit right here with my knife blade. I'll fix that. But this is kind of what we're after right here. Now I'm going to hit this with a sander and try to get it just smoothed out a little bit before we start with the filler part. Okay, as you could see, we were undercutting in this filler, this foam a little bit right here because there's a crease in the dash right here. Not too worried about that because again, we are skim coating this whole thing. The idea was to take the majority of it out with the foam and give us something with a little movement to it. That's the idea. I'm going to go ahead and finish working on the rest of this, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, this is kind of what I was after. After doing this, I realized the foam was about useless right here, or pointless rather, because that grill is so close to the top of this that there's really no space for foam and filler in there, so a lot of this foam went away. It's fine, because we're going to skim coat it. I mean, that's pretty close to flush with the top of this right there anyway. So, if you've ever done any filler work, you know you want a little divot to put it in there. But since we're going to skim coat this whole thing real thin, that's the key, I think we're okay where we need to be. Alright, so in an effort to make it somewhat better than it was, a piece of cardboard here. I know it's not the right way, it doesn't matter. And some Bondo. Keep in mind, Bondo is just a brand. Body filler gets a negative, kind of a negative following. But when used properly, it really is a necessary evil. It really does make things better when used properly. Just trying to make the wheel round. That's all we're doing. We got a flat tire. We're just changing the flat tire. We ain't trying to reinvent the wheel to put it on. Again, skim coat. This is very thin. I'm having to work a little extra just to get solid coverage because we do have it thin. Places you can see completely through this stuff. And I did put a little extra hardener in it, which I'm now regretting. Okay, I know it kind of looks like a hot pile of goo right now, and it really is. I didn't do a very good job of smoothing everything out, which is going to make more work for me on the back end, and I understand that. But now what I'm going to do is I've got a skim coat over it. I know it looks more like a heavy coat, but it's not. It's really just a skim coat. You can see through it in places. That's one reason it looks like a hot mess is you can see everything through it. You can see where all the foam is through it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it outside, sit it in the sun, let it cure out for a few minutes, and then we're just going to start hitting it with a sander and knocking it down and start our body work process. Again, we have to trust the process here. I haven't done any of this before. I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out. I don't know exactly what I'm fighting here, but we're going to find out together. But I'm just going to trust the process. And yeah, this whole end over here and that whole end over there and a little strip down here at the bottom, I haven't coated none of that yet. Figure I'll start with the worst part and see how this thing starts working out. And if it looks like it's going to work out good, we'll continue forward. If it looks like it's not, then we'll back up and punt to a plan B. I got a piece of equipment running behind me. I don't know how loud that's going to be on the camera, but I got it sitting here on the tailgate of the truck, drying out. It's actually probably hard enough to sand now, but I'm going to give it a little bit more time. Then I'm going to hit it and sand it all down. We're going to see where we're at, and then we'll make a judgment call on is if this is working or not working, based off if we go ahead and finish out and get all the little spots. Okay. Here we are back inside. This doesn't look like much to a lot of people, I know, but this right here excites me because it shows me proof of concept that it does indeed work. Now, I made mistakes, and my own nervousness, I guess, caused some issues that it's not a big deal. One, I knew I put it on super thin, and I really put it on too thin because you can see in places I'm showing foam through because I put it on too thin. So the foam's showing through. So I know I need to be just a touch thicker than that, but this is so smooth across through here. Even where you can see the foam right there, it is so smooth. Your hand will not lie to you. If you rub your hand across it and you don't feel it, it will not show up in paint. Your eyes will lie to you because you're automatically going to see things like that little spot of foam right there. But at the end of the day, that is smooth. You don't feel it. So it wouldn't show up in paint, but I want this whole thing covered so the paint comes out right. Plus, I haven't done any of this over here or anything. This was just to try proof of concept, and it's absolutely going to work. Now, what I'm going to do is mix up a little more filler, and I'm going to get in this, especially the speaker grill right here. I'm going to get into this over here, and I'm going to go ahead and try to coat this thing with another thin layer. I'm just going to do thin layer on thin layer until I get it where I want it. I'm going to go ahead and coat this thing with a thin layer of filler, and then once we get another thin layer on it and that sanded down, then I'll come back and show you where we're at. But this right here may not look like a lot to a lot of people, but this excites me because this shows me that this is going to work. Yeah. Okay, so I went back over it. It's a little different color because this is a different brand. Again, I'm just using little pieces of cans that I have left over. So this ain't actually costing me anything. We'll go over numbers at the end of the video of what it would actually cost you. But all this is good. All this is good. We've got a little divot right here and here. Again, where the speaker was. All this looks good. Even this end over here is all smoothed out and looks good. We've got a little spot right here and right here where you can see it squishy. That's the foam right there. So this little area right here is a hair low. So this little area right here needs a little, just this little smear. Not much, just a smear across it and be done. This is all good up through here. Over here, so you don't feel any of this. That's just where it's very, very thin. Now this I do feel. So either that needs a little sanding, which would probably cause a divot. We can probably just put a little dab more right there and right there. But this is pretty good right through here. But for the most part, this thing is turning out fantastic. I know it's probably not showing up well on camera, but it is turning out fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more in these 2 or 3 little spots right here. And then I think we'll be ready to put some primer on it so we can stand back and look at what we got. I know everybody probably doesn't do this, but I use primer or a base paint or anything. I'll use whatever I got over. If it's primer, it's primer. If it's paint, it's paint, whatever. But it'll help me see if there's a little divot or a little scratch or something I missed. But let's face it, I don't wear these for a fashion statement. I miss stuff sometimes. So when I miss stuff, you know, that paint will help show up what I missed. And honestly, when it's done, there may be something that you look at and go, dude, why didn't you do that spot? And the answer is probably going to be because I didn't see that spot. First off, let me put a picture up of now versus what it looked like when we started and look at the difference we've already made. Okay, now, with that being said, you can see there's a spot right here This right here is not a crack. This is the lip of some of the filler that I didn't get sanded smooth. So again, that shows, that's what that is right there. That's a little lip on both sides there. I didn't get sanded smooth. This right here, that needs to be cut back. I let the filler run over and wasn't paying attention when I was sanding. Over here, I completely missed a little spot here, and I completely missed a little spot here. Honestly, if I had to, I'd be fine with it the way it is. I wouldn't never think nothing about it. It's a 60-year-old car, so even those little spots in it, you just think, stuff happens in 60 years, you know? But while we're out here working on it, we're going to give this primer time to cure real good. I'll do a light sand on it with some light grit sandpaper. And then we'll adjust the spots on it. I will put it in black. I've got some black here. I don't think it's the right black, but I got some black here. We'll put it in black, stick it in the car, and see how well it matches everything. There it is. Looking like a diamond in a goat's ass right there. It's not completely dried yet. And I did try to texture it a little bit. My texturing job didn't come out perfect. But again, daily driver kind of job, and that's it. Let's get it put in the car so we can see what it looks like once it's in the car. Now, what would be both great comedy and heartbreaking at the same time is watch me break it, trying to put it back in here. No. I think I need to go over this way first. Yeah, I'm not down in there good. Yeah, I think it ain't screwed down yet, but I think that'll give us the idea of what we've just done. Again, you got to think about what this was before we started. There was a giant busted out place right here where a speaker used to be. Well, there we go. Yeah. Look at that. Like I said, I tried to texture it. My texturing job didn't do very well. There she is. I don't know about you, but that all black interior, once we're done, I think that's going to be the spot right there now. Look at that. Even just sitting back here looking through the windshield, and you see that black interior, those black seats, that nice smooth-ish black dash. Now, like I said, I tried to texture it. It's not the best job in the world. All right. Camera moved right here. Let's talk about what it actually costs to do this now. I'll tell you what it cost me, and then I'll tell you what I think it would cost you. My Sprite open. So, I had some partial cans of body filler left over, a couple of different brands. One was Bondo, one was, I forget what the other one was. It come from, it's professional like body shop stuff. It's not Bondo brand, it's a different brand. I can't remember. It come from the paint supply store. But I had some partial cans with a little bit left in it, so that was free to me. I had sandpaper here, had sand here, all that stuff I had here, all that stuff was free to me. So the only thing I actually bought was one can of this, and I used maybe this much out of this can. I mean, this can would probably do 5 dashes like that. So it's all in how you want to look at it. This can of stuff right here was $5.99 at Lowe's. I assume it's that price about everywhere, although I have recently learned a lot that prices will vary from store to store, it seems like, and I don't know why. That's another issue for another time. But I paid $5.99 for that can. Now, technically, I only used a little bit in that can, so I probably only used like $1 worth of it, and that can reseals, so you can still use that. But let's just say $5.99 is what I have in that dash now to transform it from busted to that. Now, if you didn't have anything, one of those small cans of like cheap Bondo brand, like you buy at the parts store, body filler, I think they're $19 for a can of that. You can go to Harbor Freight and buy some sandpaper, about $5 for a pack of sandpaper at Harbor Freight. And actually, truthfully, if truth be told,
One thing that is extraordinarily good at Harbor Freight is their sandpaper. I don't know what the difference is, but their sandpaper you get at Harbor Freight is phenomenal. It's better than stuff I buy at professional paint supply stores. I don't know what it is about it, but that sandpaper is phenomenal. You can get that sandpaper for about $5 for a pack of sandpaper, $19 for the can of Bondo brand at the local parts store. So you're $24 there, $5.99. Let's say another $6. What does that put us at? $30 from scratch. I mean, I'm assuming you have a sander. If you don't, you can sand it by hand. It just take more time, but you don't have to spend any more money. So, at worst case, we're $30 into that and transformed it from this to this. Now, I'm not mad at those results. Now, I will say this. You could spend more time and get a show quality dash out of it. I'm not going to, because all we're going to do is drive this thing up and down the road, and at most, somebody walking by is going to notice the dash, So, does it need to be perfect? No. We're not going to be sitting somewhere parked on a mirror with the hood up and the doors open, and, that's just not our scene. We're going to use this thing to drive on power tour. We're going to put, 2,500 miles on this thing when we're said and done with it. My wife's going to drive this thing out and back to work. It's going to be a daily. It's going to get nicks, chips, scratches. It's going to be treated like a car. So I'm perfectly happy with these results. You may want to go a little further. There is a couple of little spots in there that I missed. It just is what it is. I'm not going to put the effort into going in there and finishing them out, because it doesn't matter that much to me. It may to you, and you can take it even further if you wanted to. But this is a good way to redo a dash and not spend exorbitant amounts of money in it. Now, if you're one of the people that have more money and not as much skill, that may be the way you have to go. And I'm not picking on you for that. I'm not one of those built, not bought, or nothing kind of guys. Do what your skill allows you to do. But I will say this is probably one of the easier things to do. I have never tried this before. It went easily. There was really nothing hard to it. There's some learning curve about, how much foam you need to put, but honestly, that just, if you overdo it, it just adds more time to you clean up or whatever. It's not really that big a deal. So, with that being said, I'm perfectly happy with these results. I think it turned out great. It's going to continue the entire blacked out interior in this thing. When we're done, the entire interior of this thing is going to be all blacked out. Carpet, the dash is now, the seats are now. We'll do all the pillar posts in there. They'll all be blacked out. So this thing is going to transform into a full black interior, because that's what my wife wants, and ultimately this is her car. So I think for a little time investment and virtually no money, you can't ask for better than that. Because let's look at it this way. You could send it to a place to have your dash restored and spend, I don't even remember now, like $800. You could buy an aftermarket one. There's one company out there that actually has one, and I think it's $500. And it's aftermarket. So does it really fit like it's supposed to? It may be a perfect one. I don't know. Never had it, not picking on them. I don't know. But I have dealt with some aftermarket companies and stuff doesn't quite fit right. You know what I mean? Or you can spend a couple of hours of your day, depending on your skill level, maybe more. You can spend a couple of hours of your day, and at worst case, $30, and you have a pristine dash. With minimal effort, you have a driver quality dash. If you really wanted to put time and effort in this thing and maybe sink a full 8-hour day into it or more, you could turn this thing into a show dash. Oh Lord, if we went through there and wrapped it in fiberglass cloth, wrapped it in fiberglass cloth, and then put the resin over it and sanded it down, then we could have painted it with automotive paint, cut and buffed it. Oh, it would have looked like a show car dash. You know what I'm saying? But then it wouldn't have fit this car, because at the end of the day, you understand what I'm saying? You just got to be honest with what you're doing. And this car, a show car dash just wouldn't work for this car, because again, at the end of the day, it's going to be driven every day. It's going to be a daily driver car. There's no reason to have a high high-end dash like that. Just have a nice dash, something so you're not looking at busted up foam falling out going down the road. You know, we have a nice dash now. That's what we were after. Hopefully you learned something for this. I will put a link in the comment if you're interested in joining the channel. As little as 99 cents a month. That's entirely up to you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment. And I don't think people are getting notified when I put these new videos up. So if you'd like to know when a video comes out, click the little bell. It doesn't really cause you any issues. You'll just get a notification when I drop a video. That's it. If you click the bell, you'll get a notification on your phone device or whatever you have your YouTube on that I've uploaded a new video. So it gives you the opportunity to know it's there instead of seeing it a week after it's been up. You know what I'm saying? So there we go. That's as bare bones basic dash redo as you can see. I hope you enjoyed the video. God bless y'all. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and commenting. I hope the Lord bless you more today than He did yesterday. To Him be the glory. Guys, we will see you on the next one.
I'd say it's a nut job.